A train carrying Republican members of Congress slammed into a garbage truck, leaving one person dead.
It happened this morning in West Virginia. No members of Congress were seriously hurt, but the driver of the truck was killed. Some
notable Republicans in that train included House Speaker Paul Ryan and our local Congressman Roger Williams. Representative Williams spoke with Fox 7's Jane Lonsdale after the crash and says he's doing just fine.
We are going to hear from him later, but right now Fox's Lauren Blanchard has the latest on the investigation.
A chaotic scene after an Amtrak train carrying Republican lawmakers to a policy retreat crashed and derailed. Passengers on board said they felt a tremendous jolt.
The shock of the collision was such that you weren't braced for it, and it was fairly severe, and that threw a lot of people's heads into the seats. The people that were in the aisle fell down.
The chartered train was carrying dozens of Republican Congress members, their staff, and families when it slammed into a dump truck in Crozet, Virginia. According to passengers, the train was going about 70 miles per hour when the collision occurred. Capitol and GOP doctors and nurses sprang into action, attending to the injured, including the 3 people who were inside the severed dump truck. They performed CPR on one person for several minutes before he died from his injuries. Another was in critical condition and taken to the hospital, and the 3rd was able to walk to an ambulance.
Once the train finally came to a stop, you could look out the window in the car I'm in and see the overturned truck. It was a mess.
Wow.
It got hit pretty severely, and not placing as a fatality.
House Speaker Paul Ryan was one of the train passengers. He was not hurt and updated the president on the accident. Most of those injured by the impact suffered head and neck injuries. About a half dozen people were taken to area hospitals, including Minnesota Representative Jason Lewis, who is undergoing standard concussion protocol. The train has returned to Charlottesville, and the lawmakers are being taken to the retreat on buses. Congressional leaders have decided to go on with the retreat, however, with an adjusted schedule, which includes a moment of prayer for those involved in the crash. In Crozet, Virginia, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Yeah, I'm okay. Everybody's fine. I mean, it was a total shock. We were going through the countryside at 70 miles an hour is what the report I got. All of a sudden had this huge hit, and I guess what I understand is our engine went off. It went to rails, and of course we stopped almost immediately and hit a trash truck that was on the tracks, and so there's been reported a death and some injuries, but you know, everybody, all my colleagues were in good shape, and very thankful.
We're so glad to hear that you're okay. Just wondering, were any of the House or Senate Republicans injured on the train?
You know, I have heard that there might be some slight injuries. I mean, you know, the neck injury, you know, a couple of people said they hit their head, you know, but nothing serious as I understand. We had, of course, we had quite a few doctors. Some of my colleagues are doctors, and they were helping those actually that got hurt outside in the truck, doing unbelievable work as they always do. But most everybody stayed in their car that they were in, and of course we had security with us that kept everybody abreast of what was happening. So it was very organized. Nobody acted any different than they normally do, and just thankful that it wasn't, and like I say, any worse than